Okay, my friends, Lou Martin here with brother Anthony Rodrigues, also known as Walking Crow. Hey
Oh,
there.
hey there.
Aho, my
How's it going,
friend.
Lou?
Aho, Mitaku Alson. Good, good, brother. For all our
Oh,
relations, we'll sit in the circle and smoke the pipe and sit and stare at the fire and get ready for another sweat lodge, whatever it takes, man. There it is. There it is. Very good. Very
yeah.
good. Excellent. Oh, I'll gather the stones and you make the fire and we'll get on with it. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. So Anthony, thanks for taking time. We had just truly one of the best conversations I've ever had with anyone. And you come from such a beautiful,
Okay.
you're very welcome, my friend. You come from such a deep place of honesty and commitment and integrity, and that gives you your free spirit. You're quite free in yourself. And I thought, yeah, we should catch up and take a pass at what's happening in our lives right now together.
Absolutely. I'm honored.
Thank,
I'm very honored.
thank you, thank you. Likewise. So yeah, let me just drop the ball in your court, and you're welcome to share anything you want and get us going here.
Well, I'm thinking what's really um, what I just heard was moving forward. Forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow's the new moon,
Okay.
and people don't have an idea of what the significance. I really don't believe that they know what the
Yeah,
significance of this time is. What's about to drop,
yeah.
and either you are or you aren't. Either you're gonna shit or you're gonna get off the pot. Sorry, pardon the
Sure,
expression.
sure. We've heard that in America a few times. Yes.
The aspect of moving forward after isolation, potentially moving forward, and potentially the outcome of moving forward is going to
Yeah,
be it's going to change this world. I don't know about new normals. I don't believe in those sorts of catchphrases, new
yeah,
normals.
yeah,
Um, um, I've been in Sedona. My life is basically isolated. I make drums. I do my medicine. I'm always by myself, anyways. 90% of my time is spent alone.
I
So
hear
I
that.
it's just normal. That's my normal life,
Yeah,
and I know what's coming. And right now I'm actually in Los Angeles,
yeah.
staying at mom's. I got here on Monday, and I was
Okay.
down the coast, delivering some drums and doing my work, medicine work with some people, and then I went to go see a friend.
Right,
And I move freely and live freely, sovereignly. This
right.
is important for those who feel trapped, for those who feel stuck, for those who feel that they need to wait for somebody else to save them, or somebody else to love them, or somebody else
Yeah,
to give them. I'm sorry for you. I like helping people, but you can't help those who won't help themselves. Not can't, won't.
sure, sure,
And then there are
sure.
those that can't. And you can't blame them. You just have to say, okay, do the best you can for them. I can only do the best I can for them and move on. But I have to keep moving forward. I don't move backwards.
Yeah,
And there's some folks in my life right now that are going through a lot of self-induced trauma.
yeah,
And I remind them constantly that these things that happen to us in our life are the stepping stones to our future, to our wisdom, to our knowing. I'm 59. The Mayan calendar says at 52, I become an elder. The first half of my duality ends at 51 and 364 days, or 365 days. And on 366, at 52, I become an elder.
right.
And it became apparent in my life, and the things that started to come out of my mouth and my heart, as wisdom, as knowings and absolutes, were amazing. And I was like, where did this come from? And
Right.
I realized all those things that I cried and got angry and drank over and drugged over and had uh, uh, outbursts over became the stepping stones of love for Walking Crow, for Anthony, little Anthony. And I
Yes.
was able to bring that child that was hurt back then from 5 years old forward and integrate him into the life of the man, and the man into the life of the boy. And my life is different.
Beautiful.
My life is
Beautiful.
better. I'm sitting here talking with Lou Martin from Ireland. you
Yeah,
know,
brother. Yeah. Yeah. Bless you. Well, of course, you shared just so vulnerably and so deeply last time, Anthony. you know, the traumas that you've overcome, and the depth of your healing in this lifetime, which is, you know, really profound. And that you're able to talk about that is really a great gift to all of us. You know, and now we're in this time, aren't we, where the world is in a healing crisis, you know, in terms of its shock and confusion, and so many uncertainties and so many unknowns. And yeah, it's quite something. What's your stance here in terms of humanity? The indigenous talk about this time of purification, you know.
What's interesting for me is the collective. I keep hearing the collective, the collective, the collective, but the collective isn't a whole. The collective is many pieces, right? A beachhead doesn't become a beachhead overnight with one big scoop of sand. It becomes that way over a millennium.
Yes.
And what people don't understand is it doesn't happen like that. Sorry, not sorry. You know, the reality is we are all going to have to do our individual part within the collective, and not depend on the collective, but move for the collective, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good.
But the focus should be inward. The focus should be on self. How do I heal? How do I let go? What is it that I'm going to do to have a tomorrow, to have the next 5 minutes, the next hour, the rest of the day, to get to my point where I have dinner tonight or sleep? What am I going to do in a good way? The medicine wheel says we walk in balance and we walk in the way of beauty. Aho.
Yes.
And if that's so, are you and do you? Can you? Will you?
Right.
And I call people on the carpet. And sometimes I call it poking the bear with the stick. And sometimes I'm a little rough with that. But you know what? There wasn't anybody that taught me a lot of these things. These things came to me as downloads. And I'm sure I was taught in past lives these things, and they came from my lineage. But in this lifetime, boy, I was willing. I had become willing to break it down into the microcosm of the microcosm of the microcosm to get to the why. Okay, now that I know why, what am I going to do with it? Well, that's done. It's not happening anymore. What's next? What is it that I can do for myself to help others?
Sure.
You know, I often use the metaphor of the tree. I say to people, I am the tree that didn't get knocked down by the four winds. What are your four winds? There's 1,000 of them, right? You can count them on all your fingers and toes. Sure. And I may have lost a branch and I may have lost my leaves, but I'm still here standing. Yeah. And one of the things I learned about the tree, I refer to the trees as the grandmothers.
Yes.
Is the tree never sees itself. The tree only sees the other trees, the star, the moon, the skies, the stars, the universe, the animals. It sees me, it sees you, but it never sees itself. It sees the other trees. Yeah. And it constantly gives, it reaches up, and it reaches out. It gives fruit. It gives safety to the birds of the air. They nest in their trees, and the birds of the air eat of its fruit. And what is its fruit? Its fruit is the wisdom that it shares of how it got from point A to point B. And I'm talking about now me as a tree. Right. Sharing that wisdom, often just giving and giving and giving, and forgetting about selfishness and being selfless. Okay. America does not know about selflessness. It knows selfishness.
Yes, sadly.
Sadly, I'm not trying to rub people.
Yeah, it's all right. No, I can't argue with that.
You're gonna rub your nose in it.
Yeah.
The last time we was in Los Angeles, a friend of mine, Shakoba Hawk Wing, she's a shamanic practitioner.
Right.
She asked me to do a ceremony with her up in the canyons for a dog that she lost.
Right.
So we went up and I did that. We did that, and it was a real beautiful time together. And on the way down, she had picked a sprig of sage. Now, when I say a sprig, maybe 3 or 4 leaves on it, and she wasn't abusing the land or anything. She asked the plant said yes, and she took it.
Sure, beautiful.
So on the way down, there's a woman walking up the hill, with another group, and she's got those poles, walking
Right.
poles.
Yes.
Now, I don't use a cane, a staff, or poles when I hike.
Right.
I
Right.
either walk in the way of beauty and balance,
Right.
or I don't. So when
Yeah.
I see those, it denotes somebody who, for me, who doesn't walk in balance.
Sure.
And
Sure.
she said to my friend Shakoba, "Why are you picking sage? You shouldn't pick that. Then there won't be any for anybody else." I said, "There are no shouldn'ts.
Right.
Who
Right.
knew?" I said, your country, you people built this country on taking."
Right. Right.
And I
Right.
stopped talking, and she looked at me. She said, "I have nothing to say to that." I said,
Good.
"That's okay."
Yeah.
As I stood there, I got pushed to the ground on my bottom.
Wow. Wow.
Shakoba says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. I should have kept my mouth shut. The spirits did not appreciate me telling this woman."
Right. Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
that doesn't have to be said. That's obvious. But I said it, and I guess I was a little puffed up when I said it.
Well,
And that was the guide's way of saying, "Hey, hey, 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 hey. No, 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 no,
sure.
no."
Sure.
So,
Bless you. They got your attention, as we say. Yeah.
and I had to laugh at myself, you
Sure,
know.
man.
For
Sure.
all I
Oh,
know, for all I understand, for all my understanding, for all my giving and sharing, I
sure.
could have been kinder to that woman.
Well,
But
we're human. We're human,
I, I
and
hear
we've,
that.
yeah, yeah. And bless your heart, man. I mean, God, that's of course 100% true. Um, you know, um, America was built with the blood, sweat, and tears of the African race, and torturing and exterminating every Indian that stood between the white man and what he wanted. Over
Yeah,
and over and over again.
yeah.
And we need to apologize for that, and we need to make amends for that, and we need to pay reparations for that. And this is, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is, you were mentioning this beautiful story of um, a particular tribe that raised money for the Irish when the famine was happening, and sent food, basically money for food, to the starving Irish during the famine. And
Yeah,
and now with the virus, the Irish have returned that kindness
yeah,
to many of the natives who need that support right now.
yeah.
Yeah, um, and we need more of that in the world,
Oh
of
yeah.
course.
It's
Yes,
a beautiful thing to see when people can step out of themselves and be the tree
sure,
that gives,
sure,
the selflessness of being the grandmother tree.
sure.
And that metaphor, I live my life around that metaphor because I know I'm from
Right,
LA. And the reason that I don't like being in LA is because of the way that I was at one time with regard to my selfishness and always surrounding myself with myric energy and working towards myric energy. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll and anything else
sure.
that I could. And I didn't like that about myself at all.
Sure, man. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But you've forgiven yourself. That's how you've gotten sober and strong, and are of
Yeah.
good service to Great Spirit. Here's our sister Ingrid jumping in. God
Ingrid.
love her. Yeah.
Hi,
Uh,
Ingrid.
she, yeah, she says hello, two of my absolute favorite fellas, Anthony. Yeah. And she says lessons are powerful. At this time, I'm feeling immensely grateful for all the uncomfortable feelings that are coming up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's as you were starting there with the new moon
New
and how
moon.
powerful this time is, and that's divine timing, you know. And but that beautiful story you just shared, Anthony, thank you. Excuse me. It's I mean, this is again, Ingrid is a part of this for you and I as well.
Yeah.
We are definitely, Spirit is definitely asking for the deepest commitment and attention and surrender that from all of us that we've ever been asked to walk. And I feel that very much too. When things were not flowing today, I had some stuff come up, and I'm just going, okay, I'm just going to sit with this, and this feels terrible, and I'm just going to keep sitting with this, and
Right.
I'm not going to push past it, and I've tried to fix it, solve it. No, no, no. So, just a couple hours today, just sitting, feeling miserable, like, okay, you know, It's part of the lesson here. It's part of the growth. And
And
yeah,
if you can make it through the feelings of that, the
yeah,
hurt, because
yes,
it'll stop. I, I,
sure.
I, I absolutely know that. You know,
That's
I
right.
mean, last year at this time, I was wearing a patch, Lou.
Right. I remember, brother. I remember that. That's when I
Yeah,
said hi to you.
my body has completely healed from that time, but all of that pain that I went through, and I was in a lot of physical pain, and people didn't know it. The people that were listening to me didn't know that I was in that much pain. It
Yes.
was about my mother. It was about my upbringing. It was about my father and the things that happened in my life. And
Yeah.
I got to sit in this house, this very house, with my mother and
Yeah.
heal those childhood wounds between
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's
Brilliant.
magic.
Yes, it is. It is. It is magical. Well, and see, God bless you, man. You know, it's like you only had to, be put on your butt for a moment and you go,
Yeah.
okay, I got the message, And but it's like Ingrid and I have spoken about this, and other teachers, you know, we're really being asked to just be so impeccable, you know, with our energy, with our consciousness. The prayer. One of my favorite teachers is Patricia Coda Robles, and she emailed us a prayer last night saying, "Are you doing it the easy way or the hard way?" Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm doing it the hard way. Can we lighten this up a little bit? I've had more flow and want to get back in the groovy. And so the message was, a prayer of surrendering to God's will, and I posted that on my page. Yeah.
As you were saying that, what came into my head was cheap trick. Right, daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. Surrender, surrender, surrender. But
Sure.
don't give
Sure.
yourself away.
Right. Right.
That's the
Right.
key. Surrender, surrender, but don't give yourself away. Maintain who and what you are, who and what you have always been. There is a quote. There is a quote, and let me find it real quick that I posted.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. It's real. I feel like it's really important to talk about again.
Yeah.
I did a couple of interviews about this, and I want to. It is this. Autonomy is the fluidity of movement within the unit of the pillars. What are the pillars? The pillars are the numbers 2, the numbers 11, the gateway, right? The gateway
Yes.
between the pillars. It's the space between the pillars that brings them together. You and me and Ingrid, me and my potential partner at some point, who knows, friends and relatives and lovers and all those things. The
Sure.
space between us.
Yes, I hear you.
Maintaining my autonomous nature as fluidity within the unity of the pillars is maintaining walking crow and not becoming attached or having attachments to the other pillar, but moving with fluidity with the other pillar.
Yes.
And maintaining that beautiful autonomous relationship. And when that quote came to me, I wrote that quote a year ago. And when it popped up in my Facebook memory, I thought, this is important. This is important. And, those of us who have gone through relationship issues, and when we're desperately holding on to the other person because we don't know how to desperately hold on to ourselves. We give ourselves away, right? And don't give yourself away. Surrender, surrender, and don't give yourself away. Thank you. I love it when they give me messages like that because I never know when it's going to come from.
Sure, man.
If we don't give ourselves away and we maintain our sense of self, our sense of sovereignty, our sense of fluidity and autonomy, I don't become desperate and make the lives of people around me miserable. I don't make that ex-partner, if it's the case, miserable. I don't make myself miserable. How do I move forward from here? Maybe the answer is not moving forward. Maybe it's just standing still. Where are you right now? Here, right now, right here. Being the gift of your presence in the presence of your gift, of my gift, right here.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Beautiful.
Lunchtime, I don't know when lunchtime is, but so what? I'm talking to Lou Martin.
Sure.
I'm in the ebb and flow of fluidity between you and my pillars. Between our brotherhood.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah. No, you're saying a lot that I need to hear, and it's perfect, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. And it's like we're saying here with the, again, I'm coming back to the new moon for one more time. You know, we need to empty it out. The cup needs to empty out before we can start to fill it up again.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And but valuing, yeah, like I had some wonderful sessions in the last few days. I've had some amazing interviews this week. And you know, there's definitely a new energy moving in my life. You know, blessing my ex. We ended a couple weeks ago. Still sitting with all that. Still thinking about that. Still praying over that. And at the same time, like you're saying here, you know, trying to be of good use to the world and to myself. You know, and we've been preparing for this time. You know, for a long time. And we feel that in our bones, you know. It's not something we're trying to persuade ourselves. We just know it, you know. And again, your beautiful story there, the lady, you know, the lady telling your teacher not to pick sage, for God's sakes, you know, woman, would you get a clue here, you know? But then you speak up, you know, which most of us would be sorely tempted to do. I'm sure I would be as well. And Spirit is saying, this is not the time for that, for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, wow,
we were mourning my friend's dog. We were mourning the spirit of the animal, the spirit of dog medicine, the four-legged, right? And the spirit of that we were honoring was what is I'm going blank right now. A loyalty.
Right.
Dog medicine is loyalty, wolf, protector.
Yes, sure, of course.
The four-legged foundation.
Yes.
The master builder.
Yes, brilliant.
And they're running my big mouth.
No, well, we've all got one, brother. God love you, you know. And the white man and woman has a lot to answer for. I'm saying again here with our red brothers and sisters, and we better cop onto that. You know, it's long overdue. This is one of the things Marianne Williamson talked about every time she opened her mouth, which I really loved her for. There's a friend on here, Kaya, Kaya. He says, or she says, May Day is bringing together people from around the world on May 21st to unite, meditate, and pray together. So that's today. And this is watch on Facebook, and they give the link here, May Day 20. So they say that's happening at the top of the hour. So just so we're aware of that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so much. Let's talk about the men of the world, and the men waking up. And we were chatting a little bit about a friend and grief and our own journey with grief. And you know, I was saying now that the old world is ending, whatever we want to say about it, it certainly is ending. You know. The new world is struggling to be born, and we're all trying to find that vision in our hearts and with each other, and in our quiet times with Spirit here. There's so much sorrow that needs to be let go of, you know, acknowledged.
You know, I had a visitor in Sedona over the last couple of weeks, and I was glad to have her. I invited her, and at one point she got angry with me. I don't know about what. And it came to find out later, 2 days later, that she didn't know about what.
Right.
But I don't have power or control over myself most of the time. How am I going to have power control over the divine feminine energy that's sometimes motivated by hormones?
Sure. Yeah.
So at one point I said to her, and because I like my peace, and you can take that any way you want to. I'm not trying to be gross, but I'm a fixer. I'm a nurturer. I'm somebody who wants to fix people. I had to stop doing that. So in this time, he's in my house, being angry with me and not being kind to me at all. And I said, "This is my house. This is where I live. If this is the way that you're going to treat me, you can take your little car and point it east and leave now."
Sure. Good. Yeah.
Later on in the day, she's puffed up her chest and she said, "You know, when you tell somebody that, when you tell me that, I'll leave." I said, "Well, exactly."
Sure. Don't let me stop
now,
you. Yes.
I never had the power to say that. I suffered through a mommy issue for for the first 50 years of my life and part of into my 50s and my
Sure.
being an elder.
Sure.
And I had to overcome that. So I said that. Eventually she left, she went on. And when I came to LA on Monday, I had clients down in Dana Point, and then I went onward to Carlsbad to see a friend of mine, just a lovely friend of mine who I got sober with 28 years ago.
Right.
And the first thing she asked me was, "Are you hungry?"
Sure.
Right? She was feeding me as soon as I walked in, hugging me. She didn't say, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" or none of that stuff.
Right. Good.
She opened her arms and held me.
Yeah. Yeah.
In an unconditional way. This woman loves me in a way. She doesn't ask about who I was been in bed with or none of that stuff.
Sure.
She was never in 28 years judged Walking Crow. I have never thought to judge her for any of her decisions that she made. I love her. I care for her.
Sure.
And I left there yesterday. I was excited. The first thing she says is, "Let's cut your hair. We're going to cut you. You need a haircut." But what she did was she was attentive to me. She didn't take time to pick me apart and, "Oh no, you look terrible." You know how that can be.
Sure.
But as men, sometimes we bring that on ourselves, that kind of behavior based on our behavior. What are we doing? What are we doing behind the scenes that our partner doesn't know about? What are we saying? What are we doing? How are we behaving? In AA, I learned, always act as if somebody's watching.
That's a good one.
Woo!
Yeah.
And I always say that you can go into any couple's house at any time, and he's probably on the couch with one hand in his pants and one hand on the control for the television, and she's probably in the kitchen steaming and angry about something while the kids are out doing what they're doing, and she won't go in and tell him how she feels because she's afraid that he'll react and he may not love her anymore, and he won't talk to her about what she said to him last week that hurt his feelings and made him angry because he's afraid that she may not love him anymore. So two people ignoring each other, not communicating. Today's the 21st. 1 and 2 is 3. That is spiritual communication.
Okay.
Communication and spirituality. So when we're not communicating and we're waiting for the other one to say something, don't wait. We can't wait. We need to be in my lodge. When we are going to speak, we say one of two things. We say word, or we start with palabra. That means now that I've said that, I'm about to speak, and I get quiet, and I really have to listen into what I'm about to say, because once I say it, I can't take it back.
I
can't unsay it.
Sure. Well, and the lodge is sacred.
I didn't mean, or I was kidding. No.
Sure. So, man.
It's time for people to really step into the communication and stop being afraid of each other. Why did you marry her? Why did you ask her out? What was the beauty that you found in her? If you just wanted sex, be honest about what it is that you want from that partner.
Sure.
Be in the fluidity of the unity between the pillars in your autonomous nature. If you can do that, nurture your nature in an autonomous way and nurture her nature as she is, not as you want her to be, or vice versa. What a different world divorce court would be.
Sure. It's a huge challenge, brother. It's a huge challenge. But it's, I mean, we can't give to another what we deny ourselves.
Right.
Right. And I love what you've said about speaking in the lodge, and that's a sacred space. And, when you and I get to work with people, that's a sacred space. That's a place for truth and healing and for forgiveness and compassion and understanding and mercy. And, we've all been trapped in these little roles. I mean, I want to come back to what you said before. I spend 90% of my life by myself, and I've learned to be comfortable with that and enjoy that. And I really, truly do, And then when I choose to be with somebody, it's very deliberate and it's a pleasure most of the time. But like we're saying here, when we're really being asked to carry the light for the planet, carry the love and the light for the planet, and the planet is, lost in such darkness right now, confusion and pain and fear and hurt. It is very humbling, is I guess the phrase that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And none of us really have ever done this before that we're being asked to do right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have told me years ago that I'd be having this sort of conversation, that I'd be making drums, rattles, that I would be doing ceremony for people, that I would be smoking a pipe to open the portal before I do anything, I would have said, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, sure.
But here I am saying yes to those things that I've never known. Saying yes, becoming willing. Now, willingness, I've used that word a couple of times today.
Yeah.
For men, well, let me say it this way. Direction of the West is direction in the medicine wheel, direction of the woman.
Right.
Direction of the West is direction of emotion, EMOCEAN, emotion, ocean.
Right.
Direction of the West is grandmother moon, 28-day cycle. 28-day cycle, letting go. Right. Autumn, fall, letting go. It's also a time of abundance and creation. It's when we harvest the summertime into the abundance to go into the den of winter.
Yeah.
Now, women are naturally people who let go physically. It's a natural state. It's part of their makeup. It's who and what they are for the millions of years. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Men, on the other hand,
right, not so good at it.
Not so good at it. Yeah. They don't want to be good at it. They don't know how to be good at it. Yeah. They don't. They still want to be loved and honored and they're respected. But you know what? Surrender, but don't give yourself away.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
The willingness in Great Britain, they call the penis, because women let go from the sacrum, right? Yeah. Every month, if that seed isn't fertilized. Yeah. Men, on the other hand, have a penis, and in Great Britain, it's called a willy. They refer to it as a willy.
Yep.
We release from the same place that women do in a different way. Mm-hmm. We call it urination or what have you. Mm-hmm. But if we really pay attention to the body and the emotional, energetic of the emotional body, and we become willing to let go and release those things that we don't need to be carrying, that come between me and you and me and her, me and my mother, me and my father, in that place of the sacrum, the connection. That's where we were birthed. It's where we birth. It's where divine feminine comes in together with divine masculine. If men could just become willing to listen, to their true nature, not the true nature that's spouted through television and radio and magazines about your manliness, about how you need to go to the baseball game, the football game, you need to buy a gun, you need to go have a golf club, all the penis envy that they carry around for their lifetime, baseball bats and guns and golf clubs. Really, give me a break.
Cars. Yeah.
Cars and all those things. If you took time to go inside and listen to what it is that you really want, you would probably find yourself going in and snuggling up next to that divine feminine saying, I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings. I know you didn't mean to. Did you?
Right.
Because we're always in a defensive mode. And it's like boxing. Here's my heart, but here's my defense. It's right over my heart.
Sure.
We come from this place. And if you think about that, it's like, what am I defending? My right to be what? Macho? Male?
Well, in control is the thing that comes to my mind about
power.
A lot of us guys,
Power.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, no, it's good, Anthony. It's good what you're saying.
And the great thing about the anonymouses of the world, the 12-step programs, is you become empowered So amazing. To become empowered, I have to disempower myself. I have to surrender, but don't give myself away.
Right.
I have to surrender to become empowered.
Yeah.
Really? That's a stupid concept, but I'll take it all day to the bank.
Sure.
Because look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, bless you. I hear you loud and clear. Brilliant. Kaya likes that. Says, "Don't give yourself away." Definitely not. That's how I take that. I had to put your quote. Yeah, it's this paradox, and when we journey within, every day, and we ask, Great Spirit to guide us and bless us and heal us and show us the next step and give us the words and give us the vision, then we're available, and my guides say most of the world, most of the time, is in our heads, and that's where all the problems start, of course. And now that we're in crisis, we get thrown back into ourselves. We can't do the things we've been doing, and we have to think twice about everything, and we're not sure about the future. And we're looking at how do we take care of ourselves and each other, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, on every level. And that is getting us to really dive deep, and it's really helpful. It's really healing.
There's something that happened right before all of this COVID-19 stuff broke loose. I had my drums and rattles and things in a gallery in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
And they really weren't selling there because what sells those things is me when I talk about them.
Right.
So I'm selling me, basically.
Sure. I know the feeling.
So over 90 days, they only sold 3 drums. So in February, early March, I went in and spoke to the manager, Sonia. I said, Sonia, I'm going to pull all my stuff out of the gallery. Why? I said, well, it's not worth it to me to sell 1 drum a month to do that.
Yeah.
When I did that, and I'm the only one who did that.
Okay.
All the other artists in Sedona went into lockdown with their treasures and art treasures in lockdown.
Interesting.
In other people's buildings.
Yes.
I went home, and I everybody's worried about what they're losing and their job, and everybody's fighting for their right to be right.
Sure.
I started getting phone calls and emails, and people started reaching out to me about drums, and I sold 1 little drum, 2 little drum, 3 little drum, 4 little drum. I just became willing to be still and not worry. I had just moved into a new house, a new place to live that I didn't have the money for.
Right.
And guess what? The money appeared because I was willing to listen to what I was being told.
Yes, brilliant.
Have them in your possession. And every time you turn on the camera, when I do a live, they're right behind me, and people see them, and then I get another message, and people want to buy another drum.
Right on. Brilliant. Yeah, man.
I am taking care of without asking for it.
Yeah,
I am taking care of it because I know that I've come a long way, and I have laid the groundwork for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And into my second lifetime.
Yeah.
And because I trust when I didn't know how to trust.
Right.
The universe says, here you go, brother. Oh, by the way, Lou's going to call you to another talk,
Right.
And it's all a gift.
Right. Right on. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I hear it. That's brilliant. It's grace. That's the phrase that comes to my mind,
Grace.
Yeah. And it's, you can't make it happen. But you can make it welcome.
The first talk I ever gave as a healer, if you will, was at a studio called Roots Wellness Center.
Okay.
And the talk was on grace.
There you go.
And there was 3 people in the room with me 4, and we were all in tears the whole time.
Wow.
Now, the reason I did that talk is because in the programs of the Anonymouses,
yes,
they like to use grace as kind of a leveraged tool, kind of a I'm better than you kind of a tool. They don't say it that way, but when they stand at the podium and they see a newcomer or somebody who's still drunk walk into the room and sit down stumbling, they say, there but for the grace of God go I. And
Right.
my heart says, F you. Who are you? How dare you assume to have grace and that person doesn't have grace? Who are you to give and take grace out, hand it out like it's candy? That's not your place. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're a Jew. I don't care if you're a Muslim, a Buddhist. I don't care who you are. How dare you?
Yeah.
Because I know how I was talked about when I was doing what I was doing. And I've had grace the whole time I've been walking around on this planet.
Yeah.
Now, there's a place in Alcoholics Anonymous that says, lack of power is my dilemma. But if lack of power is my dilemma, it's their dilemma too.
Sure.
So knowing that, here's what the guides gave me, and you probably have heard me say it or seen me post it. Lack of power is my dogma. Because I have been spoon-fed with a shovel from religion, things that I could never achieve and understand and was never provoked by. I was assaulted by well-meaning people trying to teach me something that they couldn't give to me.
Sure.
And I say to people, give them a little gristle. Don't choke them with the bone. Don't do that. Use a teaspoon, not a shovel to food. And that's really what I want to do. I want to spoon feed people little bits at a time and let them chew on it and swallow it when they want to.
Yeah.
Offering grace like it's a weapon of mass destruction, which it is when it's done that way.
Yeah.
We know where the weapons of mass destruction are. They're on the shovel that you're trying to spoon feed people with, religion.
Sure.
Lack of power is my dogma. That's what I've been spoon-fed and raised on. Oh man, I don't know how people survive that and still go to church and give all that money and make decisions that are like, wait a minute, contrary to the belief system.
Well, man, I hear you. It's, to me, honestly, this is the time of the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Thank you. I call it, it's topsy-turvy time, when everyone who thinks they're a god is going to be brought to their knees, and everyone who's on their knees is going to be brought to God. And it's because we have our hearts open. As you're saying, nothing is more, sitting over here in Ireland, being American, looking at what's unfolded, over the last 3.5 years, honestly, from Standing Rock, that's what really caught me. And I'm like, I fucking care about these people, and this is wrong. And we've got to do something to support this. This is just massively unjust. And, so from that moment forward, I started doing more online here about bringing politics and spirituality together, and that translated into the Bernie Sanders first campaign. And look, folks, these are good people with good messages, and they need to be supported, and we need to bring the political and the social and the spiritual together. And then, as I mentioned, Marianne Williamson, etc. And of course, there's millions of people in the States with good hearts who are kind and caring and have integrity and are not living a selfish life, but there are millions who are, sadly, of course, and think that they're God's gift to the world. God love us. And this is in a breathtaking short period of time this year, which we're not even halfway through yet. The whole country's on its knees, and everyone that doesn't already have their exit plan well in place for the last decade, they're up against it like never before. So it's a huge shift. It's a huge shift in consciousness, and people do need inspiration and hope and compassion, because we've been lied to for a long time. And now we're paying the price for that.
My friend Corey Davidson, where I went to, she gave me the haircut yesterday, and she opened her door to me with open arms.
And she
She
asked if you
said
were
to me,
hungry
you
when
know,
you walked in. I love it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, man.
She said to me, men are ready for you. Men need you right now, Anthony.
Aho. Aho.
You know,
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know to what capacity or how. I have a brother that's reaching out to me right now who's suffering greatly, but he doesn't know how to not suffer. I
Wow.
didn't know how
Yeah.
to not suffer, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and and it's funny because I often say, you know, every now and again, I'll say, you know, I'm no longer Buddhist. And people are like, you're when were you Buddhist? I'm like, well, I'm not Buddhist. I just am no longer Buddhist. And they go, what do you mean? I said, I no longer choose to suffer.
Right. Right. Right.
I don't
Right.
have to suffer for the life that I had. I don't have to suffer because of other people's lives. I don't have to suffer. I
Sure.
have a conscious choice. I am conscious. I am awake. My
Yeah.
eyes are open. I'm
Yeah.
not awake with my eyes closed. The Diego Rivera, there's a book by Diego Rivera called Dreaming with Your Eyes Open.
Okay. The
And
artist.
I understand that. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
The
awake.
husband, Frida Kahlo's husband, Diego
Frida
Rivera.
Kahlo's
Yeah.
husband. I'm
Yeah.
awake. I'm awakened. I'm alive. My voice resonates. My voice has resonance, not just out there, but in here.
Good.
I hear
Good.
me.
I hear
Oh,
that.
did that? I surprise myself at the things that come out of my mouth sometimes. I'm like,
Sure.
whoa,
Sure.
where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There's a song that I sing, O Oyato. No, Ayo Nana Owai. 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 I will love you, my child. 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 I will. I will. I will.
Beautiful.
That song was downloaded to me by Spirit
Beautiful. Thank you.
because I was doing the work of the integration of the child, healing the child within.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
really, when there are people who just when I do that online, I know they're singing with me, and I love that I'm able to give that to people freely. Freely in AA, they say freely, freely we give. Freely,
Yeah.
freely, I get to do that. That's such an honor to be able to be the Marshall amp, if you will, and turn it up to
Sure.
11.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
give that to the world.
Yeah. 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 Well, brother, you're just sharing such great wisdom as always, you know, and I love the song. That was gorgeous. That was beautiful. That really was so sweetly sung, and such a deep message. And you started talking about the men, you know, and this is the message that you're getting from your teacher here, and it feels that way to me too. I've been saying this is the beginning of the men's spiritual awakening,
Oh,
because you know we we have been so programmed to see ourselves as success uh, objects, you know, and women see themselves as sex objects, or you know, the mother of the world, what have you. And you know, now that men are being thrown back on our heels, like, who are you now? You know, and who will you be tomorrow? And it's a different world now, so you got to make your peace with exploring and looking
what
at these
was?
broken parts. Yeah. Say again.
You got to make peace with what was.
With what was and with what is. Like, this is what I was just sharing with Ingrid. Grief is acceptance of what is, you
Oh,
know, like we know. And for our brothers who haven't felt safe enough or strong enough or free enough, like you were mentioning our friend here, to grieve, you know, you can fight the world and you're going to lose every time, you know, because it's not in the world, it's in you, you know. And until we make that peace in our own hearts, which is a daily devotion, like we're saying here, it's surrender and
yeah.
surrender, but value who you are at the end of that. You know, you're not nothing, you're not less than who you were. You know, just because you're in crisis doesn't mean your gifts aren't valuable. This is the time when we need to honor our gifts and find out what those are really about.
Yes, sir. Just because you are in crisis doesn't mean that you are crisis.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah, beautiful.
oh.
Beautiful. So I really do believe, Anthony, this is the time the men are finally going to give ourselves permission to open our hearts, as you said, to the divine feminine, to Mother Earth, to each other, to making amends and treating everyone with respect and dignity. And it's just when I listen to the news every day, my friend, it's like, well, how bad does it actually have to get before people say that is enough? And we're getting there quickly. I see that happening very much.
Yeah.
People are being sorely and deeply tested, and their illusions are crumbling quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Big doings.
Say again?
Big doings.
Big doings. Yeah, it's a big time. The turning of the great wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love because it's only got 4 spokes for me.
Right. Exactly.
How are you going to walk? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? How are you going to be? What are you going to give? What are you going to receive?
Right.
It's not just about always giving, it's about having a capacity to receive love and messages and a meal and a haircut and things like that. When I say to myself, I can say to myself, which I did I don't deserve these things, but I do deserve them. I'm a kind man. She's a kind woman. Why can't I say yes?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's my, after living in Ireland for a decade plus, here's my joke. How does an Irishman say yes? No. Well, if it's no bother at all. See? And how does an American say yes, Anthony? Yeah, give me that. Yeah, come on. Yeah, is that all you got? It's kind of like that. So,
what is it? Double size it, or a large. Make it a large meal.
Yes. Make a meal of it.
Meal deal. That's it. Meal.
Yes. The other one. The other one is, too much is not enough. Of things that we don't need and don't want. This is a lyric from Bono I was listening to recently. I love their stuff. But yeah, man, it's we all have that God-shaped hole, God-sized hole inside of us, and when we start to, like you say, spoon feed it, a little bit of compassion and mercy and wisdom and peace and dignity, then the grace starts to come into our lives again. And things get easier. That's what I see. That's the challenge for the world. Can we walk in grace on Mother Earth?
And life should be easy. Life shouldn't be difficult.
Right. Life works.
Life works. Yeah. If you're willing to do the work.
Yes. If we'll cooperate with its guidance and not try to dominate it with our will.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, brother, I love you. I think we've arrived at our station here for today. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for the joy of being with you. I love your wisdom, and I love your willingness to ask the questions and say what you got to say.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Where can people find you if they want more of your good stuff?
They can see www.sacreddrummedicine.com. They can reach out to me at walkingcrow@sacreddrummedicine.com or Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com. They can find, I have quietly amassed 412 videos on YouTube, my YouTube channel.
Brilliant.
So Walking Crow, Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. It's interviews, it's talks, it's drumming, it's journeying, it's teaching, it's all kinds of things. But I don't know how that happened, but there it is.
Yeah, funny. That's brilliant. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah.
That's
so they can find nuggets to chew on there, or they can find me. I do the lives on Facebook, and then I transfer them to YouTube, and I'm all over the place.
Sure. Beautiful. Well, I'll put those links with the post here when I put this up when we get through. And would you give us one more song before we leave you here today? That was so beautiful.
There's a song that I did. I was at the river about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there's a song that I sing. Hey, hey, Shay and Naya. I've been singing it since a year ago of 2019. I didn't know what it meant until this Sunday. I put my camera down, recorded the water flowing, and I started to sing. And this was the song that I sang.
Okay.
Hey, hey, Shay and Naya. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, Shay and Naya. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, Shenna, Senna, Hona, Iowana. Hey, hey. Shenna, 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 Shenna. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Take me to the river, hey, 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 hey. Take me to the river, hey, hey, hey. Wash me in the sacred water, hey, 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 hey. Wash me, wash me, wash me, wash me, wash me, wash me, hey, 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 hey. The moment I got it in the English, I thought of two people. Green.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you. That was perfect.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Take me to the river.
Yes, yes, yes. That's where we're going, brother.
Thank you.
That's what.
Thank you for
very
being
welcome.
in the flow. Thank you for being in the flow, the ebb and flow of what is the river of consciousness and love.
Thank you.
Which is
Thank
you, which is me, which is Ingrid, which is all of our friends and loved ones, even the ones that don't want to love us anymore.
God bless them especially. Bless them especially. Yes. God bless you,
Cool.
Anthony. All right, my friend. God bless you. We'll talk again soon. Peace and
All right,
blessing.
my brother.
Peace and
Take care
blessing.
now.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a million. All right, we'll
You're
leave you there.
welcome. All right.